Hi, it's me. Don't look at mom right now. She's eating placenta. So mom is doing great, and she passed her placenta, obviously, and the baby is amazing, and he's standing and he's up. So we're gonna walk around and see him carefully. Oh, and he's playing. Did you just see? He just tried to buck. So let's go this way, actually. And please ignore the placenta eating. It is part of the process. Say that's just a part of birthing. Yeah. Who's a very feisty boy? Oh. Focus in on baby. Ah. So watch, he's already getting a little playful. He's still wobbly. When we first came in, he was trying to like frolic around. He's a little frolicky, but see, I'm a little clumsy. He keeps falling. Come here. Don't try to walk on that head.
Susie, can you recap Nancy's story, how she came here, and how this birth came to be?
Yes. Hold on, please. Yes. She actually... Hello. That wasn't good. Hold on. So she actually was one of 2 adults that we rescued from an Ayrshire, and that's the kind of cow she is, breeding facility. And they were actually living in like feces way up past like the hocks, so up past what looks like their knee. The baby just got knocked down by a cough, which was one of the craziest things I've ever seen. So she actually was rescued along with another adult female named Jackie, who should be coming up here to see the baby any minute now, hopefully. And there were also calves in that rescue. So I think it was 5 calves that actually drowned in the liquid manure because they were down on the ground, and they actually got squashed down by the other calves and probably by the adults. There were also a group of yearling cows that were in there, so all females, and a bull. So 2 of the calves went to Skylands, one of the calves came here, and the yearlings all went down to Georgia to Full Circle Sanctuary. We took them down there after they were nice and healthy and happy. And then Mom, who is Nancy, and Jackie stayed here. We wanted to have her stay here. They were and they took Stanton too. So if Stanton is the baby that was actually nursing from Jackie, who did not have a baby but actually started producing milk for one of the calves that survived in that cruelty case. I'm going to move everything around so you can see him. I know. I'm so glad that you're having such a normal birthing process. Hold on. Hang on, ma'am. Can I have the baby get up for a minute so we can see him? You got knocked to the ground, sir. You want to try to get up? He's okay. I'm not okay. I'm not doing anything I have to. I just want to see his legs. Hello. Come on. Come on. What? And 2. And 3. And. Come on. He's not going to get up right now. He was just up. You knocked him down when you sneezed, Mama. So he has been up and active, and he drank and drank and drank and drank and drank. So hopefully he's just going to rest. Hello, buddy. But we were going to give you an update just so you could see how he's doing. And remember that Nancy came from a rescue. So when she first came, she was so covered in feces. All of the cattle were. The yearlings and she and Jackie. But Stanton was the one that you couldn't even tell what color he was. He's a little Holstein calf. He may be coming up very soon too to meet his new little sibling. That he's going to think it's his sibling. Hello. So it was a cruelty case again at a breeding facility. The person that had them bred Ayrshires, and that's the breed that Nancy is. He bred Ayrshires and sold them. So the boys would have been sold right away. So she wouldn't have been able to keep her boys. She's still very skittish with us being here. She's not 100% like we've had lots of different mothers come through that have come in from different rescues, and some of them are really, really frightened of us. So they're not comfortable with us spending a lot of time with them. So we're not, doing anything that's trying to upset her at this point. We are a little bit worried about his legs. He's still a little wobbly, and he seems to have a limp on one of his legs already. And we'll be very careful to make sure that that is okay as well. And I think I see Stanton way out in the field, so hopefully Stanton will come up. Actually, zoom out on the field, and we'll come over here so you can see the other animals from that rescue while Mom dines on her placenta. Okay. So outside, we have Faith, who's just staring at us, and then Stanton's the little Holstein boy that's walking across the field right now. And Stanton, we actually, if you go online and you look at the pictures we have from that rescue, Stanton is the calf who was resting his head on a calf that had already perished in the feces because he had drowned. So Stanton was rescued from that. He went to Cornell right away, and then the two adults, that's Jackie and Nancy, again, were really, really upset because he didn't come with them. So when he came back, Jackie, the other adult female, started producing milk for Stanton, so she nursed him when he was a baby. So Stanton is right out there. Jackie's way across the field. Everybody is out and about, so they don't even know that this baby was born yet. So hopefully while we're up here, some of them will come up. Faith looks like she's very interested. Are you interested, Faith? Seriously? Hi, Faith. Hello, Faith. All of our cows love babies. Love, love babies. And if you want, you can also look over here. This is Bellamy. And Bellamy, we did a story on weeks ago. Bellamy actually came in. We got her in August, the second week of August, and she was down in a ditch. She was local, really, really frightened of us. You can see she's not as frightened now. She's extremely interested in this baby. I think she really wants to see the baby. So she came in, and if you get close to her, you can see like the cuts on her back.
Inspired after seeing this. She's not going to eat any meat today.
You should not eat meat ever. That is a really great start, and I love that you're doing that because it's so, if you watch these animals, and I think that's why, I love what I do. I really want people to see, I just want people to see these animals the way that we see them. And we see them as individuals, and we see them as mothers and best friends, and everything that we do, they do. So right now we have a really good mother and a brand new baby. We have Bellamy, who's going to eventually have a really good best friend, who I'm guessing is going to be Natalie, but I'm not sure yet. And they all have such amazing personalities. And the only difference between them and the animals that are used in meat production is that these guys got lucky and they got rescued. So we're really, really happy that for the first time, Nancy's going to be able to keep a baby, and it's going to be a baby boy. I'm sure she's never gotten to keep a baby boy. You can watch, he's watching her now. He's like, I am really tired. Being born is very difficult. He looks like he has some kind of a butterfly marking on his head, which is really, he's like a Rorschach test, is what he is, that little head.
We had a question come in about what Bellamy's cuts are from.
Okay, so Bellamy was found in a ditch, and she was on her side and her back. And what happened was, while she was in that ditch, it got really wet on her skin. She had some injuries. We don't know if she fell out of a transport. We don't know where she came from. We know that she got really hurt in the process of wherever she came from. So we're guessing she fell out of a truck. She had big, deep wounds where all of that red skin is. And the wounds had maggots in them. So she had maggots that had gone from the middle of her back all the way up into her vagina. She had maggots, some maggots in her eyes and in her ears. So she had a lot of maggots on her body, which is really, really upsetting. So we took her directly to Cornell. They cleaned her up and they surgically debrided all the wounds. So then she came back here, and we did a live feed. Hopefully you can go back and see it because it was really cool. Because the thing about her was, she was so frightened of us because she also has a neurologic issue. She has vestibular disease, so her head bobs like this. She's a little bit off balance. She does much better now that she's in the cow barn because she can see the other cows. She was very, very frightened of us. And I think, part of what we try to teach people is these are herd animals, so they actually do much better when they're with their own people. Like, even if they like us, they actually really love to be with their own people more than they love to be with us. It's very upsetting to me, but it works that way. So we're great to let them have that. So she actually has gotten a lot less frightened even of us. Today she was licking people through the fence, which I thought was amazing. And that's only because she feels safe now. And it takes that, sometimes it takes a herd. It's like taking a village. It takes a herd of animals sometimes to make them feel safe. And so she's healing really well. You can see that she's almost healed. It's going to take a long time for hair to grow back on that skin. It may never grow back on the skin. But for right now, she's doing great. And she will be joining the special needs herd too, hopefully within the next couple of weeks. But we still want that skin to heal a little bit more.
So can you tell us more about Nancy's incredible maternal instincts and
Yeah,
how
Nancy,
she's getting
yeah.
along with her son now?
Yeah, Nancy's amazing. So last night we actually were doing an Instagram live feed because every evening we've been coming out, like throughout the day, we were coming and checking to see if she was getting closer to giving birth. Because it's been getting really, really, really cold. So it was 29 degrees a couple nights ago. We certainly didn't want her to have to give birth outside. There's absolutely no reason for that. So last night, I went out and I saw that she had a huge udder full of milk, and she had taken herself away from the herd, which is one of the first things you look for. So she was out in the hedgerow by herself, really had a lot of milk, was really ready to go, all dilated and ready. So we put her in a pen last night, and then this morning, my senior manager, Tara, contacted me and said that her water broke. So we all started very early this morning, making sure that she was ready, and we're very, very happy we did. She had a great birth. She did have problems giving birth. His head was stuck, but it was very quick, easily fixed, and she had the baby. She cleaned him perfectly, and she was really, really patient with him. One of the things I find so amazing is this is an animal that weighs like 1,200 pounds, and she's so careful around this tiny little baby. So she kept walking around him, and she didn't even get near to touching him. Like, she didn't hurt him at all. The only thing that she did was she licked him so much she knocked him over a couple times, and recently she coughed and knocked him against the wall. But she's an amazing mother, and you can hear her communicating with him, and the vocalizations that they have with each other, like that that low sound that she's making, is just between them. She does not make that to the adults. She's only going to make that with him, and he is going to respond back. And as he gets older and more playful and much more independent, she's going to yell at him a lot because he's not going to listen to her. She wants right now for him to stay away from people. She's being really protective. You can see that she's got him in a corner situation. It was a little nerve-wracking when I just went over there because he was limping, so I wanted to check his feet. It's really good not to be stuck in a corner with a mother. It's a valuable lesson to learn before it happens. The very first time that I watched and saw a birth, I had a camera and the mother smashed the camera into my face. She was very frightened of people. So it was a very, very good lesson. It's an intrusive thing. So we try to stand back and let them do their thing. She is not as frightened, not even close to being as frightened as a lot of the cows that have come in here and have babies. She actually likes to be, petted and groomed and brushed, and she likes to take apples from you. And she's a much sweeter girl. She's definitely have been handled where she came from. But she is still keeping the baby exactly where that baby needs to be and behind her. And she'll let him start to venture out more, and it'll be great, and we'll get to see him more. And he's already starting to play. He's bucking a little bit, but when he bucks, he's a little off balance still.
So any other fun facts you can share about this baby and his new life here? And if anybody else has some questions, we can answer those.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that's really amazing about having a baby at Sanctuary is that he will always, 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 always be with her. And that's an independence and a feeling that, no other these animals don't get that. So when you're even in a good farm, good farm, but you're in a farm where the animals are allowed to go outside and they're allowed a lot more freedom, or they're not, constantly under duress, there still is duress, because when you're pregnant, you're vulnerable. Like when you're giving birth to like a newborn, you feel just like a person would feel. You feel vulnerable because you have a protective instinct with that baby. So here at Sanctuary, we're going to give her the space she needs. He's playing behind. You can go over that way a little bit. He's starting to play. But here, she knows she's safe, first of all, because we've been very, very careful with her. When she came in after the rescue, we took really good care of her. I mean, she was a mess when she came in. She's absolutely, you can see how beautiful she is now. Oh, here he comes, the player. And he's so wobbly still. So, but she's not going to ever lose him. So anything that we're doing with him, like he has to have an injection in a little bit of vitamin E and selenium. We give that to all the newborns because there's not good selenium in the soil and there's no other way for him to get it. So while he's with her, he's going to get a shot, but we're never going to take him away from her to do those things because she's probably lost baby after baby after baby after baby. So, and when he goes in to get neutered, she will be with him. So they won't be separated. We never want her to feel like we're going to control that baby. Like that baby is her baby. And that's a really great feeling. It's what everybody probably wants in life, is to know that you can protect your baby and no one's going to harm that baby. I wouldn't go in that bowl though, baby. I'm going to protect that baby. Stay out of the bowl, baby. But yeah, she is going to always have, she's going to always know where he is. She's never going to feel that fear of losing the baby for even a moment in time. Except when he becomes really independent, and that's going to be on him. But we're never going to take him away. And we're going to make sure that she's always feels safe and happy, and he always feels safe and happy. So we'll also get to see how he is. So sometimes when a baby is born here, if the mom is really shy, or even if the mom isn't shy, sometimes the baby doesn't need us at all, because when you're bottle feeding, it's very different. They do need you. We're getting a baby today that is a bottle baby, but this is not going to be a bottle baby. So his relationship with us is going to be very different. So he is going to make the choice whether he likes us or he doesn't like us. His choice. And if he doesn't like us, that's okay. Because he has the one thing he needs in his life, and that's his mom. And I think that's the most important thing. That in the industrial, in an industry that wants her for her milk, he would be taken away each time. So we do that on a daily basis, like an hourly basis. We're taking away a baby just so we can take the milk from the mother. And in this case, this mother gets to keep her baby. And it's the way it should always be, right? She's like, correct. You are speaking the truth. So yeah, we're dealing with an industry that is, that's what we do. So it is such a miracle to see this baby, not being taken away. And this mom is very comfortable and relaxed. Like, she's just eating dinner and having a good time because she knows we're not going to do anything bad. And everything we do, we'll do with her in the room.
Stephanie would like to know when the baby will be introduced to the rest of the herd.
Not for a while. So tonight the baby's going to be fitted for wardrobe. No, the baby's going to have a coat because it's going to get cold tonight. And we're going to have this all nice and closed up. And her special needs her will be able to come up and meet the baby through the fence. But it is going to be months before we put that baby out because he's really, really tiny. And we have young boys in the herd right now in special needs. And we don't want them to hurt him. And we don't want her, again, to be scared and feel like she has to constantly defend him. We'll know when it's time. They'll start meeting each other through the fence right away, and we'll see how everybody reacts to each other. But right now, he is extremely vulnerable. Once he is in the herd, he'll be even super safer, though, because that herd's not going to let anything happen to him. And they're not going to let anything happen to him in here, too.
Catherine's wondering how fast they grow.
They grow way too fast. So if he was a Holstein, he'd grow like a pound a day. But he's not. He's an Ayrshire, so I'm not really sure how fast he's going to grow. I'm not going to lie to you. I think he's gonna get very big very quickly. He'll probably gain a good 30, 40 pounds in the next month or so. So he'll be big pretty quickly. And we'll keep everybody posted too. We'll be sending photo and video, and we'll do some live feeds throughout like the next couple weeks so you can see him growing. And by tomorrow, he'll be frolicking, which is the good news, unless there's something going on. I'm a little worried about his legs still. He's been a little bit limpy, so we have to make sure, because one of the problems they have is they do get infections in their legs. If they ingest or get any kind of bacteria, it can actually go really quickly into the joints. So we always have to monitor their joints, and that front leg is a little stiff. But again, we're going to do all of that once everybody's a little bit calmer. Yeah, and he's just starting out life, so we're letting them kind of chill for the rest of the day. This evening we'll do any of the shots that he needs. We'll make sure that all his joints are okay and everything else.
A few people are wondering if he has a name yet.
He does not have a name yet. We need a little more time. We like to meet them before we do any naming. So, and his personality has not come out yet. I am not kidding. Tomorrow, unless there's something wrong with his legs, he's going to be frolicking around here like a lunatic. So tomorrow is going to be a totally different day. And again, some of the babies are very standoffish, and some of them are extremely curious, and they just love people. So we're going to see what happens with this guy. But so far, he seems like he's not scared of anything. I've already gone over to check him a couple times. He's not the least bit spooked. She's very calm. I think that helps him. She's not nervous. She's not thinking we're going to take him.
Cooper's wondering if he'll meet any other species, like goats or chickens.
He'll definitely meet them. We are really careful. We've had Chickens make me really nervous when they're in with the cows because every once in a while the cows just take off and the chickens can't necessarily get out of the way. So we do have the chickens in a different location. He might need a chicken, but right now he's not going to anytime really, really soon.
And then Samantha was wondering if you can just recap about Nancy and how long she's been with us.
Okay, so Nancy came to us, I'm trying to remember what month it was. Yeah, I think it was in May or June, months ago. She came in with a group of cows that were locked in a barn that was full of like a really liquidy feces. They had no airflow, they were really, really sick. They had manure, like liquidy manure up past their hocks, which is like what you would think is her knees. And there were babies that were actually in that barn, and those babies, all but 3 drowned in the feces. So when we got them out, they were all covered in manure, like liquid manure, and it was so disgusting. And 3 of the babies, 2 of them went to Skylands Animal Sanctuary, New Jersey, and then we took in Stanton, one of the calves, and then we took in all the yearlings. So there were also 5 other cows, 5 females, and then 2 adult females. One of them was Nancy. Jackie, the other adult female, actually nursed Stanton, who was not her calf. He's a Holstein calf, and they're both living in our special needs herd right now. He's still wobbling. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so that's where they came from. And you can see that she's definitely cleaned up. She looks absolutely beautiful. We took really good care of her because we knew she was pregnant, and we made sure that she had enough weight on her so she wouldn't get too thin after the pregnancy, and that the baby would be okay. So she's been getting grain every day. Yes, you have. And we cleaned them all up. They had pneumonia. We treated them. So everybody's all healthy and happy now. And she just had her baby this morning.
So Barbara saw earlier during our live feed that people were mentioning a twin, and she's wondering if Nancy's still pregnant.
Nancy is not still pregnant. That placenta has passed. I'm not sure why people thought there was a twin. We were watching that this morning, and I was very confused. We knew there wasn't a twin, so we actually did an ultrasound at first, so we knew that there was only one baby. So somewhere along the line, I think it was because she had so much discharge and some afterbirth hanging out, that people assumed that there was another baby coming. But she does not have a twin. She's actually cleaned out, which is cleaned out the placenta. So the placenta has come out. That's what she has been eating recently. That's why she's licking her chops. But she's supposed to do that. So she's doing what she is supposed to do as a mother. And she's great. She's looking really, really healthy and happy. Tomorrow, the vet will probably be out to check both mom and baby, especially because those legs are making me really nervous. Because he is definitely a little bit more wobbly for the hours old that he is. And then mom, she'll do a full check on just to make sure that she has completely cleaned out the placenta and she doesn't have anything that would lead to an infection. So yes, we'll make sure that everybody is all ready to go. So by tomorrow, we'll be good and golden. Everybody should be healthy and happy.
Stephanie's wondering about how much milk the baby will drink on a daily basis.
I don't know pounds-wise how much this baby's going to drink, but this baby has been drinking some serious milk because mom's udders were so massive and tight this morning, and they're nice and loose. So he has been getting up and drinking on a regular basis. We actually had a video in here so we could watch and make sure that he was continuing to drink, because the first milk is colostrum, and they have to have 10% of their body weight within the first 12 to 15 hours or 16 hours. So we had to make sure that he was drinking, because that colostrum will create all the antibodies that he needs so he can fight infection and he won't get sick. Without that colostrum, and that's where most of the calves that we get that are downers at the stockyard or from cruelty cases, a lot of them haven't had colostrum and they already have infections. So that milk is really, really important. That's why in the live feed this morning, we were waiting until he actually nursed and latched on and started nursing, because he had to have the colostrum.
So Rachel would like to know, in the industrial farming world, how long do babies actually get to stay with their mothers before they're taken away?
If you're talking about in dairy farming, the babies are taken away in less than 24 hours, usually within 2 hours. They clean them up, and the thing that they want to do in the industry in most cases is to tube feed colostrum. And the reason they do that is they want to make sure that the baby did get enough colostrum without staying with the mom. That way they can calculate exactly how much they got. So mom loses them right away. I've seen them put in wheelbarrows, I've seen them drive away. with mom very, very upset. So that's not going to happen. So that's already done. So, but she's probably already gone through that because the colostrum that is fed to the babies is usually milked out from other mothers. So they can have it, like I've even seen backpacks with colostrum and they tube it right into the baby. And again, they're calculating the amount of colostrum they get. So even female calves that will also become dairy cows are removed from mom right away. They don't stay with mom. So in big industrial farms, babies are taken away within the first couple hours. Boys end up going to the stockyard and are sold because they're either sold for veal or beef production. And the girls are usually put in what people see as the calf hutches. A lot of people think that the hutches are veal calves. They're actually, they're called replacement heifers, which is the replacement females, so the females who will eventually go into the dairy. And they are bottle fed, they are not fed by mom.
So Mem is asking if this is her first calf.
I don't think this is her first calf. She seemed to know exactly what she was doing. She's also an older female. She's not young. They start calving. The Holsteins usually around 2 years old, and I think the Ayrshires are a little bit younger when they start. But the Holsteins, they have to be 2 years old, the females, before they have their first calf. And then the Holstein calves are much bigger than this little boy. And they are usually, and that's the ones that you see more often in the dairies, are the Holsteins and the Jerseys. Holsteins are born anywhere between like 80 and 100 pounds, whereas this baby definitely isn't that much, although this is a very heavy baby. If you were trying to pick the baby up, that baby weighs at least 50, 55, maybe 60 pounds.
So we had a question come in from explore.org asking if we've ever taken in any other large animals like donkeys or horses.
We have donkeys and we have horses at 2 of our facilities. We do not take in horses here. We're really not set up for horses in Watkins Glen, but we do have donkeys. So yes, and we do have horses at our Acton location. We are not actively taking in horses right now. Horses that we have in Acton actually came with the sanctuary. It's a sanctuary that we came in and took over, so the horses were already there. And we are going to have horses in New Jersey as well, because we're right smack dab in the middle of horse country. So, and there's a lot of breeding facilities there for horses, and a lot of horse slaughter going on.
Ma'am had a concern. Can you just clarify that we are not going to be taking the baby away?
We will never take that baby away. So even if the baby is sick, mom will stay with the baby through an entire treatment. So if there's ever anything wrong with the baby, mom will be with her 100% of the time and will continue to nurse her. The only time that we've ever had to separate a baby is if the mom was so sick and dying. That's only happened once. So we will not separate this baby from mom and mom from baby. Unless there's something really dire where mother was dying, and clearly she doesn't look like she's dying. She's looking pretty good.
And Barbara had a follow-up question about the hutches. She says, so those hutches don't contain veal calves, just replacement dairy calves?
Yeah, if they're the plastic hutches that look like dog igloos, that's the ones you see most of the time. Those are actually females. The males you don't see. I've never seen outdoor veal hutches. I've seen indoor veal production. And if you do see them outdoor, the majority of what you're seeing are going to be the females. I'm sure that some of the males can be outdoor, but the majority of the ones that you see, especially outside of a dairy, are actually the females, and they're called replacement heifers, which is not a nice thing to call them, but that is what they're called. And they are bottle fed, and they are going to be the next round of girls that are going to be in that dairy, or they'll sell them off as dairy cows to another dairy producer. Stop playing.
Melinda's asking if there's any initiative to work with certified humane.
Fantastic groups out there that is what they're working on. That's not something that we're working on. It's great because we have so many groups, animal rights groups, animal welfare groups that are all working together for the same common goal. What we're trying to do is, what our goal is to get people to see these animals as individuals and not want to take the baby away from the mom, because even in a certified dairy, the whole way that we are getting milk is to have a baby. So if you have a humane dairy, you still have a baby. So the baby has to be born or mom couldn't produce milk. And if mom is not producing milk, obviously she can't be at a dairy. So that is not the goal of what we do, but there are, again, so many groups, and we're all working in different ways for the same goal, to take care of these amazing animals. Your baby is pretty.
Oh, a couple people were wondering, do you think that Nancy might be concerned that we're going to take this baby away?
I think she was at first. I think she's kind of getting that we're not going to. At first, she was a little bit more vocal with us, but if you look at her posture right now, she is definitely much more relaxed. The baby still hasn't figured out which end the udders are, but she's very relaxed and she's doing really well. She's very happy that he's there, and she's not panicking. She's not like, pushing us out of the way or trying to get us to go away. So yeah, I think she was at first, but I think she's definitely figured out that no one's going to take the baby now.
Emily is asking if veal crates in California are now illegal.
If what?
If veal crates in California are now illegal.
I don't think that veal crates are legal in California. I think that there is still veal production. So crate veal or white veal is only one part of veal production. So some veal calves are not crated. So you can actually research it. You can look it up on our website. So go to www.farmsanctuary.org. If you want, just put veal in the search, and you can read about veal production, because there's all different types of veal production. Crated veal is only one type of veal production. So just because they don't have veal crates doesn't mean they don't still have veal calves. Very big difference. Like there's bob veal. Bob veal is day-old calves. Some of the veal is crated. That's the veal that the animal is actually anemic. Very different, and the animal is actually crated for a longer period of time. So if you look it up online, there's all different kinds, and not all, again, are in crates. Okay, so you get to watch the cuteness for a few more minutes. Oh, Mom. And you can watch him being really silly and throwing his head. You are very silly. Oh, so somebody asked if this is a beef or dairy. Ayrshires are actually used in both beef and dairy production.
Okay, tough guy, you're gonna walk. Baby.
Oh. Oh, so someone's asking about starting a sanctuary. Yes, you do need to be a nonprofit 501c3 to receive donation. But you really, again, need to know a lot about what you're doing before you start a sanctuary. I think we're really good at like showing like all those really happy things, but it's a very, very, very hard job. And it is a complete 100% life commitment to start a sanctuary. And I'm not kidding. It's even with a sanctuary our size that has a very large staff, which took 30 years. It is a complete life commitment for a very large number of people. It's not a 9-to-5 job. It's a very time-consuming, very emotional, very physically draining. We have a California shelter. We have 2 California shelters. It's like 120 degrees in the summer. And here we're getting prepared right now for winter. So if you are thinking about starting a sanctuary, we actually do have a course, and we do that in September. We're actually thinking about doing 2 of them next year. But I really always say if you want to start a sanctuary, you need to work at a sanctuary, especially one the size of what you're going to start and the one that's close to what you want to look like, and work there for a few years because it is not for everybody. Just this year, 7 farm animal sanctuaries have closed, 7. And this year, probably 10 more have opened, and next year, 7 or 10 will close. So and when they close, all those animals then need placement. We're actually going to be putting out what makes a good sanctuary. We're going to be putting out a piece on that very soon because we're seeing so many places start. And I think it always starts with good intentions, but sometimes ends very badly for the animals. So there's a lot of pitfalls and a lot of things, big obstacles that you should know about before you even think about consider it.
Robin's wondering how many animals total we have among our 3 sanctuaries.
Over 1,000 right now at our 3 sanctuaries, plus we have animals in New Jersey, although we are not open yet in New Jersey. And somebody also said, will someone be watching to see if she does learn to get milk from Nancy? Oh yeah, he is already nursing. So just so everybody knows, he did start nursing already, or he wouldn't be running around and trying to walk. Still not loving the legs though. So you can see that he's very stiff. So something's going on with his legs. This isn't unusual. Sometimes they have leg problems in the beginning. He still needs to get a selenium shot. Mom's watching him like a hawk, as you can see. He's not allowed to go too far. But he's exploring now. You're exploring the world. That is a mineral feeder, sir. You don't need those yet. Whee! So he's exploring, and Mom is worried. You can see Mom's really, really worried. So she's going to watch every single thing he does. And I think she knows he's a little wobbly right now, too. So she's probably a little concerned about that as well.
Why are his joints swollen?
Oh, his joints aren't actually swollen. We felt them. They have big leg joints. The concern that I'm having is actually with his back legs, not his front legs. His front legs are a little bit swollen, but not swollen like abnormally. If you have seen these calves when they first come out, they do have nice big joints. They are not warm. There's nothing that seems off about them, but we're going to know more as the day progresses. He does have pretty normal legs. The front left looks a little bit bigger than the other, and then his back left looks a little off to me too. But again, part of this could be that he is a newborn and he has a lot of other, he's just got weak legs. We've had some that have had to have braces when they first come out because the fetlocks aren't strong. So we're going to see what he's doing. He's trying really hard to play, but yeah, it's his fetlocks that are bothering me the most, which is the bottom part of the foot. He's wobbling on those. And yes, they will get to stay together forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. Unless she kicks him out when he turns about 20 because she thinks he needs to get a job. Woo! Oh, and again, we got another question about where Mom came from. The rescue is online, but she was rescued from a farm where they were breeding Ayrshires, and a group of calves actually drowned in liquid feces after being locked in a barn with adults and yearlings, and getting actually trampled down into feces. And so we had 3 surviving babies, and one of them is outside right now. 2 of them are at Skylands, And then mom, Nancy, is one of the adults that we took in out of 2 adults, not counting the yearlings, and she just had her baby today.
What do you see?
Oh, and here, go over there so you can see. She's looking at, he's looking at other cows. So the other cattle that are coming into the barn, Mason is here. Mason is a giant, and that's his girlfriend, the little munchkin, Natalie. Those are like opposites definitely attract. So Natalie is tiny and full grown, and Mason is not tiny and also full grown. And I think they're dating. I'm 99% sure they're dating. So they're doing really, really well. And they're coming over to see. They're all going to be very interested in this baby. So for the rest of the day, we're going to probably have visitors to the barn trying to see in and see babies. Mary Carol, you could of course sponsor this baby. Mary Carol, you must come and see this baby. Yeah, so we are in Watkins Glen, New York. This is where the baby was born this morning, bright and early, making sure that we did not get the rest we might need to take care of him all night. But yeah, he does not have a name yet. We never name them right off the bat. We wait. So we're going to give it a few days. We want to see how he's doing and what his personality is like. But yeah, we're very excited to get to know him as he kind of comes out of his shell, because he's really weird. He was just born a few hours ago. So his personality isn't all the way. So we're waiting a few days at least to name him. And as you can see, mom is still walking him. Oh, and as for color, yeah, he's probably going to get darker red like his mom, although Gary, we have an Ayrshire named Gary who is redder. And a few of the yearlings that came in with this group actually were more of a red. So he may stay the color that he is, or he may actually get darker. Oh, good, he's nursing again. If you go over there, you can see. Replacement. Okay, so a question came in about how long do they stay in the hutches. I think it depends on what they're doing with them. So some of them are sold when they're about a year old. Some of them are sold when they're about 6 months old. They keep them in those hutches for a few months. It is much easier for them to like put bottles. Like they have like little hanging things to put milk bottles in for them to drink. So it kind of automates the system, and that's why you see more. You see them in the hutches for at least a couple months, because it just makes it easier for them to do. Oh, sorry. I keep forgetting I'm supposed to be closer to this camera. So yeah, the babies stay in the hutches just for a few months, because it just is like, again, it's a way, so if you've ever been to a large dairy, sometimes you see like hundreds and hundreds or thousands and thousands of hutches. So basically, those hutches all have like a little fence around them. There's a hanging thing for the milk bottle, so somebody can just drive through and just slap the milk bottles in twice a day, and that's how they raise those babies. If you watch here, this baby is going to nurse throughout the day for the rest of his first year. He'll just nurse when he needs to, and that's the way all babies should be able to do. The milk replacer that's used in most of the industrial farms, or I'll say some of them use milk, but a lot of them use replacer, allows them to only feed them twice a day. Oh, he's got a milk mustache. Replacement heifers for Holsteins. The question is, when a replacement heifer is inseminated? Holsteins usually don't have their first baby until they're around 2 years old. So there's other farms that have what are called replacement heifers, and that's what they do for a living. Like they raise those girls, and then they sell them to dairies. Some dairies have their own herd, and then those girls then go in when they're 2 years old and they're artificially inseminated, so they can have a baby. They carry the baby for 9 months. So they're just like us, they carry a baby for 9 months. They actually communicate to the baby when they're pregnant, just like people would communicate with their own baby. So they're very well aware of the pregnancies. And here, she felt much safer clearly here because she was being taken care of. We try to make it like a spa. She had like a spa night last night, and I think she was really excited. We brought her into a pen. We had all fresh bedding. She got a big bowl of grain and some nice grassy hay. So yeah, it was spa night right before the birth. So she's feeling pretty good. Oh, and when someone said a year, that's not good for the cow. The baby actually, if you look in the industry that raises cows for beef, the mothers do nurse their babies even for 14 months. That's not all the baby is eating, and it doesn't hurt the mother. It's not affecting the mother. The biggest issue is you want to give the mother enough food so she doesn't lose too much weight because she's producing energy for the milk. But when she's being milked for the industry, she's actually being milked, especially the Holsteins again, who are the ones that are used the most. They're producing between 60 and 100 pounds of milk a day, and that's actually much harder on them than like having a baby that's nursing like throughout the first year of their life. He's going to nurse as his sole nutrition for the first month or so, and then he's going to start eating grass and hay and grain with her too, as he develops a rumen. But for right now, he's just going to have milk. And when he's nursing into the year-old stage, which we have a boy that still nurses off his mom when he's scared or nervous, she will wean him, but he's not nursing her to a point where it's hurting her at all. No way, I'm a beef rancher, a yearling cattle ruin rudder. Again, we have right now, and we have had many moms and babies. I have never had anybody ruin her udder. The other thing is, we're a sanctuary, so we're not going to continue to breed her. But we've never had anyone's udder actually hurt by a calf. And because we're not going to breed her again, she is not, here to produce milk or anything for us. We are very excited that he is drinking as much as he's drinking. I wish if you would have seen her last night, her udder was so big that she was like bow-legged walking up here, and he is definitely drinking everything he can, which is awesome. Oh, okay. How long until the baby meets the other cows? Again, they're going to start coming up today. They live in this barn. So he will meet the herd that he is going to live with by tonight. I'm surprised they're not up here yet. Some of the cows from the main herd have come in to meet him. He's also met Bellamy, who lives here. But he will meet the cattle that he's, hello baby, the cows that he's going to live with tonight. He will not go out with them for a while. He's way too fragile, very tiny. And we have some rowdy boys in there, so we don't want him getting knocked over. And we don't want mom to be worried. She seems very low stress right now. She's not worried about anything. So, and I actually don't know exactly how much an Ayrshire baby eats every day. All I know is he's going to gain a lot of weight really quickly. I'll actually find that out though. I'm going to ask our vet tonight. This is our first Ayrshire baby. Yes, Lord. Okay, so we're going to sign off and let them have some more privacy. I know I'm going to come out later tonight, so I'll probably do either a Facebook Live or an Instagram Live, depending on what's going on and how much service I have. But they're doing great, and we will keep everybody posted on their progress. We'll probably do something tomorrow as well, so you can see how he's doing. And thank you so much for watching. Bye.